This is macOS Ken.
A pledge of support for India, a ton of OS update news, and a few chances to hear me yell, "Clips!" It's Tuesday, the 27th of April, 2021. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. Learn more at upstart.com/macOSCan. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSCan. Just about everything today is tied to various updates from Apple. Before we get to those, though, Apple CEO Tim Cook is sending thoughts and support to India. A Reuters piece says the official number of deaths from COVID-19 is approaching 200,000 there, though a number of reports I've heard say official numbers are likely way short of the actual number claimed by the virus. The country recorded well over 300,000 new cases in the 24 hours between Monday and Tuesday. A piece from the Washington Post had the head of the World Health Organization calling the situation in India beyond heartbreaking. Into that, Apple CEO tweeted, "Amid a devastating rise of COVID cases in India, our thoughts are with the medical workers, our Apple family, and everyone there who is fighting through this awful stage of the pandemic. Apple will be donating to support and relief efforts on the ground." Right. What you should be getting today is an exhaustive look at all of Apple's operating system updates, as well as the battle raging around one in particular. There's just one problem. What I got last night was a jury summons. I have to be in court at 8 a.m. today, which is kind of funny. On an episode of In a Few Minutes last week, I pointed out that I have stayed up for 8 a.m. in the last 15 years, much more often than I've gotten up for it. But here we are, or will be. I guess the good thing is we've known a lot of what was coming before Monday's mega release of iOS 14.5, iPadOS 14.5, watchOS 7.4, tvOS 14.5, and macOS 11.3. Apple Insider points to some of the biggest features for the iOS, iPadOS, and watchOS updates. For its far-reaching ramifications, you gotta figure app tracking transparency is the biggest change. That's the one that'll require apps to get a user's permission before tracking their activity from one app to another. When enabled, says Apple Insider, users will be prompted with a dialog stating that the app or website would like to track them, and when it's not enabled, they won't. That may seem obvious, but this is worth digging into. Sort of like visiting a website and opting out of their tracking cookies every single time you go to the same website. I'd assume that we would be telling apps not to track us for the rest of our days. However, a piece from my download blog says there is a simple way to shout no across the board, assuming no is what you want to shout. Basically, don't let them ask. According to iDownload blog, when you disable allow apps to request to track, any apps installed on your device that attempt to ask you for your permission to track you across other apps and websites will be blocked from asking and automatically informed that you have requested not to be tracked. In other words, getting a digital talk to the hand is read as a no, as it should be. If that's the message you want to send, go to Settings on your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch, then go to Privacy, then go to Tracking, then toggle Allow Apps to Request to Track to the Off or Gray position. Instructions are similar to stop tracking in tvOS. To stop app tracking completely on tvOS 14.5 or newer, iDownload blog says open the Settings app on your Apple TV, then select Privacy, then select Tracking, and disable Allow Apps to Request to Track. Lots of fighting words generated again by Apple's implementation of app tracking transparency. I will try to hit some of those later this week. For the sake of convenience, the most welcome feature of the iOS watchOS combo is probably the one where you can unlock your phone while wearing a mask. The problem is anybody else can too. As Apple explains, when you go to activate the feature, Face ID can't recognize you with a mask, so iPhone will unlock when any face with a mask is detected while your watch is unlocked and nearby. A haptic and notification on your watch lets you relock iPhone if you did not intend to unlock. You gotta love the abundance of caution, and I will say, having tried it out, you gotta love the ease with which it works. MacRumors lists the like magic combos required. They include iPhone 10 or later with Face ID, Apple Watch Series 3 or later, iOS 14.5 or later installed on iPhone, and watchOS 7.4 or later installed on Apple Watch. To activate, the site says you launch the Settings app on your iPhone, you select Face ID and passcode, enter your iPhone's passcode, then scroll down to the section labeled Unlock with Apple Watch and toggle the switch next to Apple Watch to the green On position. If the option is grayed out, you need to update the version of watchOS on your Apple Watch. Plenty of other features for everything updated. Some highlighted by Apple Insider for iOS and iPadOS include Siri voice changes. According to the report, users will be able to choose from 2 new English voices for a total of 4 when setting up Siri. Siri will no longer default to a specific voice during initial setup. Instead, users will choose from the list of voices. Apple also removed the gendered labels of each voice to remove social bias from the user's choice. There is support for the PlayStation 5 DualSense and Xbox Series X game controllers. AirPlay 2 casting support comes for Apple Fitness Plus. There are refinements to Apple Music, and over 200 new emoji in the messaging apps. Now, just turning off tracking isn't all that tvOS has to offer. A separate piece from Apple Insider says hot newness for the Watch box includes support for the PlayStation 5 DualSense and Xbox Series X game controllers, same as iPadOS and iOS. Users also get access to the color balance tool. If your Apple TV can run the new update, you've apparently got access to that. According to Apple Insider, all models of Apple TV running tvOS 14.5 can use an iPhone to perform this quick procedure. Got 2 more updates to tell you about. We will get to those in a moment, but first a word from Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. Are you carrying a credit card balance month after month? You're not the only one. High interest rates make it hard to pay off your debt, but Upstart can help. Upstart is the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan, and it's all handled online. They look at more than just your credit score, factoring in income and employment history. That lets them offer smarter rates with trusted partners. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate up front for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. Checking your rate does not impact your credit score, and you can receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. Customers have rated Upstart with 4.9 stars on Trustpilot and Credit Karma, and they are number 1 in personal loans for customer satisfaction on LendingTree. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/macOSken. UPSTART, that's upstart.com/macOSken. Don't forget to use my URL to let them know that I sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/macOSken. Right, 2 more updates to go. Apple on Monday let fly with macOS 11.3. Lots of little changes with this one, listed by another piece from Apple Insider. Among them, there is support for AirTag and Find My. There are improvements, or at the very least changes, to reminders. There are tweaks to Apple News, including ways to make finding particular publications easier in News Plus. Changes in podcasts, including following instead of subscribing, a save button for individual episodes, hey, like this one, and changes that are meant to aid in discovery. Similar changes are listed for Apple Music in terms of discoverability and ease of use. There are more voice options for Siri and 200 plus new emoji, just like on iOS and iPadOS. Now, plentiful though they may be, new features are not the biggest reason to make the move to 11.3. Apple Insider says yesterday's macOS update fixes a vulnerability that let attackers bypass Mac security. Citing a report from TechCrunch, the piece says the software flaw allowed attackers to create a malicious application that could masquerade as a document. Security researcher Cedric Owens first discovered the bug in March. According to Owens, all the user would need to do is double-click, and no macOS prompts or warnings are generated. The researcher created a proof-of-concept app that exploited the flaw to launch the Calculator app. No, launching the calculator doesn't sound scary. Again, though, that's why it's called a proof-of-concept. Apple Insider says a malicious attacker could have leveraged the vulnerability to remotely access sensitive data or other information on a user's machine by tricking them into clicking a spoofed document. Honestly, there is not one good reason to update your stuff this week. There are hundreds. In addition to the various functionality updates, a visit to Apple's security site shows 53 fixes for Big Sur, 44 fixes for the iOS and iPadOS updates each, 33 fixes for watchOS, 34 fixes for tvOS, and 2 fixes for Safari 11.4 for macOS Mojave and macOS Catalina. And oh yeah, they got updates too. Security Update 2021-003 Mojave takes on 30 security issues, while Security Update 2021-002 Catalina tackles 31. And finally today, through all of the iPhones I have owned, there has only been one app that made me wish my iPhone was higher end. And now that same app has done it again. MacRumors says Apple has updated its consumer video production app, Clips, bringing features that are totes pro, or totally for pro devices. The piece says version 3.1 of the app brings support for the LiDAR scanner on the iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone 12 Pro Max, and the 2020 and 2021 models of iPad Pro. The feature is called AR Spaces. With it, Apple says users can easily scan a room and see a live preview of effects that bring dynamic lighting, falling objects, and immersive scenes to life. Using the rear camera on a supported iPhone or iPad, users will see effects appear on walls, floors, surfaces, furniture, and objects. You know, I feel like that would really take the videos I'm not producing and am never gonna produce to the next level. But wait, there's more. Or if you wait a month, there will be more. Apple says that going forward, the app will get monthly updates to introduce new filters, live titles, text, stickers, and posters related to seasonal events and cultural trends. That is a curious amount of work to put into an app that seems largely forgotten by most users. Anyway, the application Clips is free. Version 3.1 is available now on the App Store. Coming up in a few minutes, with over 30 years of podcasting experience combined, you gotta figure the Maccast's Adam Christensen and I have thoughts on Apple's podcast subscription plans announced last week. Listen into some of them in a few minutes. Find that show and stick it in your ear wherever you get podcasts. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. Learn more at upstart.com/macOSCan. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSCan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.